What's up, guys? It's IceTea, and today I have a Sky Striker pure deck profile for you. Honestly, it's just a deck profile that I have right now in real life. I'm planning on buying the Therion cards to, play Sky Striker Therion because I think that is probably the right way to play the deck right now. I don't like Brave because it clogs up your main monster zones with the tokens. So basically, your right has to be your essentially last play, so you cannot really push through the board with using right first because you just clog up like your zones for your widows and afterburners and stuff like that. So let me start with the main deck. I have 3 Ray, obviously. Yeah, literally nothing to say there. Now I do have something to say over this. This is 3 rows. Hear me out. People think 1 is correct, 2 is correct. I've been playing this deck for a really long time, and what I have to say is I only lately realized that 3 rows is the right play, because honestly, people don't want to open that much Sky Striker engine. If you open 2 Ray, it's kind of iffy. If you open 2 rows, it's actually fine because it enables a Zeke play. And Zeke is really good through pushing a board. It's really good, guys. I am not running 2 Zeke right now. You'll see later. But I would strongly suggest you play 2 Zeke because Rose is a really, really good card. And like, don't get me wrong, Ghost Spell is in the format right now, which means you can chain block your Kagari. And also, Sword Soul is in the format right now. You can pop the Monk or banish it with Zeke, summon back Rose, and then negate another interaction from them. So Rose, and like the main reason why I play this card at 3 is because you literally do not want to brick with this deck. If you brick and you don't have the right cards to play, it's really bad. Like either you brick on just Sky Striker spells, which is like fine, I guess, because you break the board anyways, but you don't really have follow-up from that, right? So you really need to draw a starter. It's just ass if you like draw 4 starters. Like that is really, really ass. It could enable some stuff, but it's really, really iffy if you open 4 starters. And just so you get the percentage on all of these things, with 2 rows, it's about, you have exactly 8 starters that get you access to your extra deck. And eight cards, like seeing one of the 8 cards in a 40 card deck, this is a 40 card deck profile. If you want to see one of the 8 of these cards, it's like a 74% chance, and 3 rows is about 80. It's like 97.80% or something. And 80% is a really good number in my opinion. Sometimes, of course, you just get unlucky, but you really, really like do not want to break with this deck. It's bad. It loses you games. And then we have the Sky Striker one-off spells. Obviously, like you have to play these. You want to play these. Hornet is actually a 1-card Zeke, which is good. Like, people don't respect Zeke enough. Zeke is sick. I think Zeke is insane. Obviously, like engage multi-roll. Multi-roll is insane. If you open this card, make sure you get the most value out of it. Make sure you get the most value. You try to force out an interaction from your opponent, especially if they have like a hot red or let's say a Regulus. They can only negate the effect, right? They cannot negate the activation, which means the multi-roll stays on field, which also means if you set like a afterburners, activate multi-roll on afterburners, they're gonna have to respond to it. They're gonna have to respond to this because they don't want to lose their board to like 1 Regeki, right? Hi. Hi. Microphone just came back. And we have this. Yeah, obviously. Then for the Sky Striker spells, we have first 3 Widows. Nothing to say there. 3 Widows. Anyone who's playing 2 does not know how Sky Striker works. We have 2 Area 0. Why? Because consistency. Honestly, it's so good to hit something off of Area 0. And also, it's always good to have this card on field because it enables a multi-roll. It enables to send from Zeke, so you have another body. Like, it just helps you to push. And honestly, people might throw an Ash on this, so it's just like, I think it's a very good consistency card. Like, it's asked to hit Area 0 of Area 0, obviously, but this card also helps you get spells engraved if you're not playing like a overly spell heavy version of the deck. Then we have 2 Afterburners. Now, what I have to say about fucking Afterburners, alright, hear me out. Afterburners is completely dead against Despia, like, except they don't have opening. Afterburners is actual garbage in this format right now. It trades against negates, yes. Against Despia, if they opening, like if they have opening engraved, this card is literally a brick. It's literally a brick. I thought about playing 1, but this card is just so good into back row matchups or just honestly trading, like let's say against Sword Soul, like let's say Flunder, Sword Soul, and Despia are like the top 3 decks right now. Sword Soul, like you trade a negate with this, and if you keep this for your last spell you activate and you have 3 spells engraved, you can get rid of 1 monster negation, let's say the Big Long Young or Draco Berserker, Shisha, whatever, or if someone's even crazy enough to go for Baron turn 1, which I don't think is the right play, but that's not what we're talking about, you can even pop their Blackout. So this is just very good into Sword Soul, and it's good into Flunder because you get to resolve your Sky Strikers link cards. Yeah, I think this card's pretty good against anything but Despia, and that's why I think, like, I'm very like unsure about what ratio, but like 2 has always been the ratio for going second version, and I think that's what I'm gonna stick with. I'm not sure, but for sure like 2, because it just helps you against Rogue, against Sword Soul, against Flunder, against really whatever. Like, it helps you against anything but Despia, but Despia is the most represented deck, so I guess you have to pick your poison. I picked my poison, and it's 2 Afterburners. I've been playing 2 since I'm playing Sky Striker Show, so yeah. Now, Shark Cannon. Why this card is broken at the moment is because of Therions, first of all, because of Despia, second of all, and it's a good scythe out. So honestly, I would play 3, but it's the exact same thing with Afterburners, right? This card is good in some aspects, but in some others, it's just complete garbage. Let's say you're playing against Flunder. Card does absolutely jack shit. It does absolutely nothing. You side these out against Flunder. You literally side these out. This card is probably not even going to resolve turn 4, except they open like Shifter, or you clear their barrier statue, like literally, and you don't want to summon barrier statue of it. This like doesn't do jack shit. So this is good into everything but fucking Flunder. So yeah. Then for the, as I would say, one-off spells or like non Sky Striker spells, we have one Upstart Goblin. I think you have to play this just to get spell count. It's really important to get your spell count turn 2. Like if you start your turn going second, usually. It's really important to get this, and also consistency. New addition to the deck, Change of Heart. Honestly, I don't like playing too many going second cards in a going second variant because I just do not like that you basically like blow their board out and your resource is technically your lightning storms, your droplets, your whatever, and it's just way too neg over time. Also, it does not serve as an interruption if you set it. So I don't really want to have that many just like pure going second cards. That's why I'm not playing Regeki or Lightning Storm. I would play Lightning Storm in the side, but I'm too poor. But yeah, I would play Lightning Storm in the side. I would strongly suggest you to play Lightning Storm in the side. It's very good against Sword Soul. It's very good against Flunder. It's very good against Despia. Someone's not playing Lightning Storm and Sky Striker right now, at least in the side, like some are playing it in the main and like a hard going second version. I would definitely, strongly suggest you to play it. Then we actually do have this because, again, spell count is important. Literally, spell count is important. I played the deck for a long time without this, and I'm back on it for like some months now. I think just spell count is very, very important. And even after that, like, let's say you go first, right? This card essentially helps you go first because you can make your Kagari resolve. Which means if you don't have a Widow, like Widow Axis, let's say Widow Axis, or you want to search Engage because you're sure that you can have 3 spells in Engrave if you search with Engage, you can dump Engage off of this. You can dump Widow off of this. You can dump Shark off of this. You can dump Afterburners, Area 0, whatever you wish. And it will help you go first. It will help you go first. Keep this in post-siding. Except you are sure that you're going second and you need stuff that just beats the other deck. Keep this in post-side. Especially if your opponent like sees you play like going second cards like Change of Heart or like a fuck ton of hand traps. Just keep this in. It will help you go first. It will help you, even with the draw 1, it will help you see your side deck cards just like Upstart Goblin. That's why I think it's very important to play these cards. The one Terraforming, I don't play Mystic Mine. Again, consistency and spell count. That's all there is. Like this, that's the only reason why this is here. Now, again, new edition. Was on 3, then on 1, and then on 2. I'm playing it. It's broken. Free draw true. 3 draw 2. If you banish Engage or multi-roll, don't be sad. Keep your poker face up. Whatever. Just play the game. You got a +1, and you can probably break the board going second if you have this. And usually it also baits an interruption. If your opponent lets you resolve this, you literally get a like free +1. It's very good. Then you have Rhoda, self-explanatory. With Rhoda, you're playing 9 starters in the deck. And last card, 40 card deck, Callby. Not very much to say. Card's a 3rd Shark Cannon in my opinion. That's why I don't play the 3rd, because I want to have like Callby as the 3rd. Yeah. Then hand traps. 3 Ash. Good against Despia. Really nothing to say more about that. Yeah, really not to say more about that. If you want to play a hard-going second Sky Striker deck, side these. Just side them. Because if you're playing Lightning Storm, Forbidden Droplet, Mystic Mines and stuff, just side them. Because any other card you will open will just have higher impact than this. So just side them if you're not playing like... If you're not playing like anything else but the fucking going second striker version, like the hard going second with like, as I said, Lightning Storm, Droplets, whatever. Then we have 3 Whaler. If you have Hulk, Selene, Axis, play them. I don't own them right now because I sold my Hulk and I yet to got a new one. So I sold my Hulk when it was like 40 euros here in Germany. Yeah. And that's where I stopped having that package. If you have it, play it for sure. I'll tell you what cards to put out of it for it. Veiler also, I did not even say anything about the card. Veiler itself is good against Sword Soul, Flunder. It's iffy against Flunder because if they have Quick Play or D-Shifter or Book of Moon, you know, you're kind of screwed. But it's better than opening nothing, right? So it's a good card for Flunder. It's a good card for Despia. Always Ash Aluber. Always Ash Aluber. Like, if they have branded fusion access, if they have a branded, hard open branded fusion, and they normal summon Aluber, you do not, if you don't Veiler, they will search Lost. They'll activate Lost, activate branded fusion, and then you cannot Veiler the Lube. So always Valor the aluber. Keep that in mind. We have 2 crow. 2 crow, honestly, just because like the 2 ratio, like let's put all these cards out right here. We have 2 crow, 2 nib, 2 Vidala. This replaces 3 nib and 3 crow, these cards. And I'll tell you why I play them. So 2 crow, essentially, again, for Brandon Red, this is probably the second best card against Brandon in Red. Best card against Brandon in Red is Foolish Return. If you do not own that card, get yourself Foolish Returns. I think that card is gonna be very good against SPF. People get to know that fucking card, bro. That card's broken. Why DD Crow is not as good as that? If they have lost, they'll search Mercuria, and DD Crow does jack shit against Brandon Red. Be mindful of that. But I don't want to play First Return because like right now I don't want to play it. But if you want to play it, play it. It's honestly good against the Brand matchup. Just what I don't like about Foolish Return is you will have to force the Brandon in Red. They will sometimes, just to play around Foolish Return, like good Despia players know that card exists and know that card like screws them up. So they will try to save the Brandon in Red if you set your cards. Like if you set your interruptions, let's say a Widow and your Foolish Return, then they will Brandon in Red. So if you pass on Foolish Return in hand because you think they want to blow out your back row, then you can still chain it, right? But if they don't and they're not scared of your back row, you're stuck with a Foolish Return in hand, which absolutely does nothing in your opponent's turn. That's why I play Crow, but Crow is worse against Mercurier. So again, you will have to pick your poison. I'm playing this right now because it's just hand traps, you know. And yeah, Crow's also good against Sword Soul, by the way. They have a combo where they make Ashana, Adara, and then normal from Shishao search no, they go for Baxia, I think, and then they normal summon Taiye, banish something, summon, then they go for Shishao, then they dump Moye off of Baxia, and then they summon back the Moye, and that's where Crow's good. They will have a monk on board, which means they will probably pop the monk, so they will end up with 3 synchros. So be mindful of that. Crow's also good against Sword Soul. Not the best, but it's good. And we have 2 nib. 2 nib because nib is fine right now. Honestly, it's good against Sword Soul. It's good against Rogue. It fucks Rogue. Honestly, nib is like becoming a bit like it's again like if this card is good, it's really good. If it's not that good, it's kind of ass. Like I'm playing it because I'm playing that many hand traps. Like I'm playing a total of 12 hand traps. Like in my opinion, that's a lot. If you open nib plus any other hand trap, you're basically good against combo decks. Like let's say Dragon Link or the Sun Avalon Therions. This will fuck up their turn if you open another hand trap. And that's why I'm playing too, because essentially your hand traps in this build are your resource. Like your hand traps are literally your resource. So nib is a very, very good resource to have. If they push for a game, you can nib them. If they like in the late game, if you draw this card, it's actually not that bad. Like in the mid to late game, it's not bad if you draw this card. I really just don't want to open 2. Like that's it. I do not want to open 2 since it's a hard ones, obviously. And it's not good if you open 2. Like if you nib your opponent, you want to push forward, and with another nib in hand, it's hard to do that. Except you have broken, like you opened like broken other cards. Also to nib because sometimes you won't have Ray and Rose access if you play nib 3 play 3 rows because you need a normal summon. Engage and Hornet are not starters if you opponent your nib, which means you're deleting 2 starters from your 9 starters or let's say you play 2 rows, that's 8 starters. You're deleting 2, which means you're left with 6, which is Rhoda, 2 Rose, and Ray. And that's a very low chance of seeing them. So play 3 rows if you play this card. Also, against any rogue or like link-based deck, if you hit your opponent with Nib, you can bring back your Rose. Like, keep that in mind. Always keep Rose and Grave in mind. It can access you to, like, it gets you access to some really insane plays. Okay, Darla. About Godarla, honestly, it's against Flunder, first of all. Second of all, it's against Chimera. If you played against Branded and they made Chimera on you, and you did not have an out for Branded and Red, and they have a Poly and Grave, you will know exactly why I play this card. You will know exactly why I play this card. Non-targetable beat 6 is very, very hard to out for Sky Striker. I'm not gonna lie. This is why I play that. I let them resolve the Chimera. Fuck it, like whatever. I'll just kaiju the Chimera so I get rid of it. Because some desperate players just sit on it because Sky Striker has, because they know Sky Striker has a hard time with dealing with that. Now to the extra, I play 1 Dark, 1 Phoenix, 1 Unicorn, 1 Access Code. Okay, you already get to see the goo right here. Yeah, I'm playing Access, Unicorn, Phoenix, Dark, Mirror Jade. Mirror Jade, I'll explain. Shark Cannon becomes, like, remember the format where Orcust, Sky Striker, and Thunder Dragon, like Eternal format, was really big? People were playing 1 Ding in their extra deck because they summon back a Galatea, or Widow Anchor take their Galatea, make Ding, and then you get a free send through your Widow or your Shark Cannon. This card allows you to summon back a Mirror Jade or summon back an Albaz. Albaz for this card though. And then Albaz essentially makes you super poly the opponent's board and make this, which is not bad because if you can just sit on this, it's actually not bad against Despia because it blows up their field, right? And also if you summon back a Mirror Jade, you just have a banish, you know? Like sometimes you just summon back something off of Shark Cannon just so you have the body to make Dark. If you summon this back and then from your opponent's graveyard, use it to banish a monster and then make Dark, it's insane. Like, it's insane. I really, really like this card. I've been testing this card a lot right now in the extra deck. It's very interesting. And honestly, this is like a flex spot you don't really need. People play a 3rd Hayate, which in my opinion is like, bro, like what are you doing, bro? Like 3 Hayate, bro, like it's a wasted fucking extra deck space, bro. And yeah, access code, because access code, no need to explain. Unicorn, Phoenix, this would be Celine, Hulk if I would have them. Phoenix because of back row, Unicorn because of spin back, like literally, like I don't think there is any other explanation for this. I don't like to play them. I'm playing them because I don't have Hulk Celine, so play those instead if you have them. Also Dark because Dark's broken right now. Again, if you make Dark, you can summon back the Mirror Jade as well. So, you know, these cards like are kind of working together. And then for the Striker links, really nothing special. The most basic lineup you'll ever see. 2 Hayate. Also, if you don't like the Mirror Jade and extra deck, just play second Zeke. That's what I told you like before. Second Zeke is very good. It comes up a lot. 2 Hayate, really nothing special. 3 Kagari, again, really nothing special. 3 Shiz because it's a pure variant and you don't really can afford, like in other variants, let's say Brave or something, or let's say if Verte was still legal, you would cut 1 because you would need the Link Spreader, Verte, DPE, blah blah blah. And if you play the Railer package too, you would have to have like 3 spots left in your extra deck, which means you would have to cut 1 Shiz. I don't like doing that because like in the grind, if you like, you will really like, if you go into a grind game, you will appreciate the 3rd Shiz because the 3rd Shiz mostly searches you. Let's say if you did not have access to multi-roll yet, you get multi-roll. If you did not have access to an afterburner yet, you get afterburner. Like, it really gets all like it gets the last card that you don't have access to yet. It gets that card out of the deck. Also, if you play Hercules base, third Chiz searches Hercules base. Keep that in mind. Also, second Chiz is like, first Chiz is obviously for engage. Second Chiz, if that actually like happens, you know, sometimes it just doesn't happen because you get killed or something, or your opponent just like, you know, gets rid of your Skystrike engine, whatever, really doesn't matter. If this comes up, usually you search Afterburners or Shark Cannon. Like Widow, like you always want to have access through Widow, you know, like you always want to have access to Widow. It's your most broken card in the deck. That's why we play this deck, right? And the third Shiz searches like the weird one-off Sky Striker spells that you can play, like Eagle Booster or Hercules Base. Eagle Booster, people don't give credit to Eagle Booster. I'm not playing the card because it's essentially a brick in my eyes, but I've played that card at 2 for a very long time. And Eagle Booster is sick because if you used a Widow that turn while you had multi-roll up, and let's say you have a Shark in your grave, but you only used one Widow Anchor, it's very, very good to search Eagle Booster off of Shiz and then activate it as a quick play spell. That's why it's really, really good, because it essentially lets you set another card from your multi-roll. That's like why Eagle Booster is very, very good. Also, essentially is good for resolving your Zeke or your Kagari. Yeah, then we have the one Kaina. Also, really nothing special to say about this. Kaina lets you survive sometimes. Kaina is used in Therions a lot. Like this is the link that you make for like you go Ray into Kaina into, let's say, Hayate, and then you trigger the Regulus. Like you usually want to get Kaina and Grave first because you don't want to waste any Skystriker link. And then obviously one Zeke. I would play 2 for sure. I just haven't ordered it yet. I actually never had a fucking second Zeke, which is insane to me. Yeah. Then for the side deck, 3 Token Collector because of Brave and Sword Soul. Really not much to say about this. Token Collector is pretty good because it enables Zeke also. And if you play like weird stuff like Baguska, this also helps you. Like, don't think Baguska is a bad choice in Sky Striker. I'm being honest. If you play 3 rows, it actually comes up very, very often that you can just sit on a Baguska and it's like Mystic Mine. Literally. The third Crow for Despia. Then we have Duster, Night Beam, 3 Cosmics. This is essentially for back row. These would probably be Lightning Storms if I would have them. I'm poor, but I don't have them. These would be probably 3 Lightning Storms, or this would be 3 Lightning Storms because you need Cosmic for Anti-Spell. So I wouldn't switch that out for Lightning Storm, but something like that. I would definitely play Lightning Storm in this side if I would have the money to. And then, yeah, Night Beam, if you don't know what this card does, it targets a set spell trap that your opponent controls, and you can destroy it, and your opponent cannot chain that set spell trap. So essentially what you do is you just target the brand in red that is known because they set it off of Albion. You hit it, and if they really want to activate their Brandon in red, they like went neck 2, bro. Like they literally went neck 2. They cannot make Chimera because they cannot pop cards, so you cannot even activate the effect of Chimera to pop cards if you don't have cards that you control. So they cannot go for Chimera. And also, like, if you activate this, it gets rid of Brandon in red, or they will have to, like, chain their Mirror Jade and then chain their Brandon in red, and you get rid of a Mirror Jade banish, and you get rid of the Brandon in red for literally just 1 card. It's very good. They will probably make Draco Suppilia or like Masquerade or Kratos. Really doesn't matter, but it's way better than to deal with a fucking Chimera. Like, honestly, guys, if you're a Despia player, just make Chimera on Sky Striker. Honestly, they will have such a hard time dealing with it. I'm not even gonna lie. And then 3 Cosmics for like anti-spell and stuff. Side this in against Sword Soul because they play anti-spell most of the time. Or Rivalry, so it's really good. Against like decks like these, that just don't use it. Don't use spells that often, like Sword Soul or Tri Brigade. Honestly, too. Side this in against Tri Brigade. They will probably side an anti spell, and if you don't have Cosmic to it, you are probably going to lose. And then we have 3 summon limit. Hear me out. Don't play Floodgates and Sky Striker side decks because people are gonna side in Spell Trap removal against you. If you side Floodgates, you're just gonna lose more to it. You can also play Shared Red instead of this. You can play Lightning Storm instead of this, because Lightning Storm is very good against Sword Soul and Flunder. I explained earlier. Summon Limit is like, why am I playing this card? Because if my opponent makes me go first, and I'm just putting them on better habit. Like this card, mostly ends their turn. Like they probably can get like a Mirror Jade, but honestly, that's fine if they can't do anything else. So I can deal with a Mirror Jade with one single Mirror Jade. I am absolutely fine with this. And yeah, I would probably cut this for Lightning Storm, honestly, but it's very, very good. Shout out to Adrian, my friend, for letting me use these. And yeah, it's a good card. If you open it, they don't have out to it, honestly, if they make you go first. Yeah, you just have to be good with the mind games, honestly. And then the best side deck card in this fucking format, D-Barrier. Really, really nothing to say about this. Sword Soul, Despia, it's a fucking auto win button. Like, literally, if you go first and you activate this, it's an auto win button. So, make sure you have this. Like, really, whatever deck you fucking play. Even if you play Despia, side this card for Soul Sword because your Soul Soul matchup is really, really hard against. If you play Despia, side this in Sword Soul for Despia. Side this in Sky Striker, side this in Flunder, side this in fucking Dragon Links. Even if, like, Spell Traps and Dragon Link side deck are pretty bad because you cannot hit him off Pepega, so basically you have to play these. These are actually insane right now. Actually insane in this format. And yeah, that's a deck profile. Video was very long, but hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, see you guys next time.